DC here. Hi guys. Year's end. Are we talking about New Year's resolutions again? No, I don't make New Year's resolutions. And nevertheless, at the beginning or the end of every year, you go through periods when you think what's happened and can anything be done different. So I guess maybe in a way there are some types of resolutions, but how long do they last? I mean, the ones like that, not very long. This was one incredible year, wasn't it? I mean, in so many aspects, and I don't always mean positive ones, of course, but I mean, you can have a year that goes by and you look at it and you kind of say, wow, that one's over. 2011, whichever way you want to call it, was a bit one of those. One of those years where emotions collided and yeah, new things come out of it. There was a year for many of you was another South Tube year. There's a Swiss beer in that Nashville cup, and it tastes just as good. And doesn't that kind of talk about a lot of our experiences on YouTube? Mixing of things in that same cup, good and bad. See the picture in back here? That is about, geez, is there a date on that one? There doesn't seem to be, but that's about 3 years old now, from the YouTuber formerly known as the Blue Flamingo. And yeah, he had sent that over to me. I kind of like that one. You know, I used to wear, in the beginning of my vlog, so about 3 years ago, I always have these goofy little glasses with the Swiss flags on it. I don't know why. I mean, it was just kind of like creating some type of a personification or whatever, you know. But in the meantime, a lot of those things have stopped. I mean, I don't feel that I have to wear those goofy glasses. I do a lot of other goofy things, but I haven't worn those in a long time. So what I want to chat about, probably not about glasses actually, but about what's coming up for 2012 for a lot of us. I mean, new changes. I saw not too long ago on a Facebook queue that Cheeky Chicken Head is having some issues with her channel, which might put her partnership up for the grabs or something. I don't know what's going to happen there. We've known it's happened to a few other people, so we can see that YouTube, I'm afraid, is sometimes a lot like the real world. You know, we always try to separate those things, don't we? You know, like the supposedly so-called real world with the virtual one, and then you see that a lot of the same things come back. Yeah, what am I supposed to say about that? Well, I guess the only thing that one can say is that it shows that there are a lot of things that basically, I would say, worlds collide together. And when the worlds collide together, a little bit like the real beer in this cup that came from my contacts with all you virtual guys, you know what? It tastes just as good. And I think that's probably what one has to try and bring out of it, is that if you have my half full cup here, be it in the real world or the virtual world, that is really what you have to end up taking. There are some things we're just not going to be able to change, like for example the Google empire, which doesn't seem to take all that much into account, I guess the little guys and so on, you know. So there are certain things that we can change. So a lot of things in the job market, for example. But what we can change is ourselves, and we can, by changing ourselves, sometimes, you know, help to change the environment around us, which makes it even better. Is that easy? No, it isn't. I mean, if some of you, I won't be naming names in this case, but some of you know of one YouTuber who suffered a terrible loss towards the end of the year. I mean, so sometimes, you know, real life comes in. What I've found, though, is in these situations, and I can name one person also, though nevertheless, is Deborah Ducks, who's passed on to a better place, actually. But when you think about it, there you see that those worlds collide, and very often they do collide for the better. Movements of sympathy, movements of, I would say, sympathy, empathy, love, in these cases, were really something. They really were. I've seen like how many times, as far as I'm concerned, that people have asked, how are things going, with your job situation, with home, with lots of things, and it's something like that really makes you feel like, the community is still there. Mike63, that's MYK63, did mention once in one of his videos, depending on what it is, don't run to YouTube, if you need instant help. And he's right on that. But nevertheless, if you are thinking about a community, you do have it here. You do. I'm trying to think now about the last year that's gone on, and there are a few people, that we've lost. Some people we've lost in the sense of, that they've passed on. Some people have left YouTube. And some departures, some departures are really painful because they didn't happen in peaceful ways. Isn't it just like real life? Funny, eh? The more we get into it, is that it actually? Is it the more that we get into it, it is part of our real life? I think it is. For some of you, a few select ones, I have to say. I sent our yearly Christmas letter, and I give a bit of everything that's going on in the family. I've been doing that for as long as I've had a computer. But there is one thing that I did want to read at the end. I'll finish off with that as the video is going on. I put this in here. It was to finish with a word from C.S. Lewis, taken from a book that he wrote called Letters to Malcolm. Any patch of sunlight in a wood will tell you something of the sun, which you could never get from books of astronomy. These pure and spontaneous pleasures are patches of God light in the woods of experience. And that is probably what I'll be wishing for each and every one of you, is to have those patches of God light, the extra special experience that'll be coming up for you in 2012. And I'm really looking forward to continue all our great times together, be it with collabs, comments, vids, whatever, as long as we communicate and get to love and enjoy each other. So that'll be DC. I'll be signing off. I'd like also to say for myself, my family, Mrs. DC, how much we've enjoyed a lot of your interactions. And that's about it. And I should sign off, shouldn't I? So, sending love to you. Take care. And we'll be back in the new year.